welcome everybody to the VAIL VRML Season 1 Final Four interview series. I am here with the number 3 squad currently. I have Semtex VR, Taz Gaming, Sandy 2005, and McGuff. Let's go down the line, introduce yourselves, kind of tell me your role on the team, and maybe a fun fact about you if you want. And we'll start with you, Semtex.
Well, a fun fact about me, I'm from Sweden, and my role in the team, I would say, like entry fragger.
Okay, awesome. Taz?
Yeah, I'm Taz. I'm co-captain, and my role on the team is I usually top frag.
Okay, Sandy?
He does. Hello, I'm Sandy. I am team captain and in-game IGL. And fun fact, I usually don't top frag, that's Taz's spot. I'm usually not bottom frag either though. So that's good.
Awesome. And McGuff?
I'm McGuff. My role in the team is mid. That's it. And fun fact about myself, the best scope in the game is the notch sight on the...
Sandy, as the captain, you know, how did you guys start the team? Where do you come from? What's the origins of you guys as players? You can all answer this sort of question, but I'll start with you, Sandy.
Well, it started out with my onward team at first. Lear, the community manager of Ace Labs, reached out to me for the VRML tournament and asked us to join it. And prize pool, of course, looked really nice. So I asked around to my team who was down to join, and that's how we started out. And then, I found some new people because we didn't have enough to fill it completely out. And now, I've met these amazing people, and we've come this far and hope to go further.
Taz, what's your VAIL story as the co-captain?
Well, yeah, I started playing VAIL when it was in App Lab on Quest.
Oh, wow.
So back in the day. And then I took a bit of a break and was playing Breaches VRML for a while. I thought I'd come back, seeing all the action coming on at VAIL. And then Sandy decided to pick me up and get me co-cap quite quickly.
Awesome. McGuff, what's your story?
I came from Onward and started playing VAIL between Onward matches. And I've pretty much dropped Onward and just playing VAIL now.
Okay, can respect that. Semtex?
Well, I came from gym class, but then a lot of my friends that I played with there, they started playing VAIL, and I saw a bunch of videos, so I wanted to try it out. And then on my first couple of days, I met this guy called Ferris, and then we started a team. And then after that ended, I just got invited to AD when I got recommended from Taz.
I appreciate you all jumping in, taking the time to interview with me. It's been 11 weeks of regular season gameplay, a double elimination bracket that you guys have been fighting through. Sandy, I'll start with you as the captain. You know, how does it feel to be here now, competing for that chance at third, competing for the semifinal, for that final spot?
I mean, to be honest, of course, there are very little teams in the EU right now. And I, of course, hoping us to come this far.
Yeah.
But the match against Bombers was really tough. We expected it to be. And I think we're lucky to have come out on top, and I'm happy to be in the semis right now with the team.
Yeah, congratulations for reaching that point. Taz, as the co-captain, let's go back to that weekend, last weekend, and in particular that match against Bombers. You know, what was the mindset going into that series? What was maybe the most challenging part of it? Give me some insights into that weekend.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough match going into it, especially when we were 5-1 down to start with on that first map.
Yeah.
Definitely a big blow to us at the start, but we were able to bring it back, get the team morale back up, and keep that pressure going the whole game.
Is there ever a motivational speech during that timeout that you're taking? Like what happened there?
Yeah.
At one point, there's like the meme, "This is my perimeter is me." We had to hype up McGuff a little on mid, and we started screaming it during the whole match, and it kept the morale up, and we got through it.
I mean, it looks funny sometimes on stream, but I've seen teams even like get together in a huddle and do like a all hands in cheer to get motivated, and then suddenly that's been the right switch. So no surprise that a little motivational speech is what was necessary there.
I think it was on there as well. You came close, and we all huddled around McGuff screaming, saying, "You are the perimeter. Let's go. Let's do this."
I love that. Well, I'll have to go find the clip now, so we can show it here. But yeah, great matchup that last weekend. Semtex, I want to talk about this weekend. It's the semifinals. You know, are you feeling pressure? Are you a little nervous about the series, or is it just another game?
Well, of course, it's a big game, and it's very exciting to have this game in front of us. I'm gonna look forward to it. Of course, I'm nervous, but I'm trying to get that to fuel me instead of scare me. Just try to win our next game.
Yeah, absolutely. McGuff, as the point player, is the prize pool ever on your mind? Do you ever feel the pressure coming on in this postseason at any point?
The thought of the prize pool only really came in recently.
Yeah.
I was only really thinking about it maybe like after the last match we played. I was just playing it for fun, like it's just normal games.
Well, you got to keep that mentality up, I suppose, going into this next weekend. You'll be going up against either Meeks or Crimson Claw. Sandy, as the captain, how are you preparing for this upcoming weekend series?
Well, we've done a couple streams. I've been personally doing some VOD reviews on both teams, see what tactics they usually use. And, well, let's hope we get one of the teams and we are well prepared and we can predict what they're doing and then play off that and then hope to come out on top in the end, go to the finals.
Taz, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I am. Who do you think you're going to be going up against if you do make it? Or I guess who do you think you're going to be going up against for your first match in that losers bracket? Is it going to be Meeks or is it going to be Crimson Claw?
It's going to be a close game either way, I do think, but I think it will be Meeks will be against. I think they will lose that first game, unfortunately, but I think it will be a really good game to watch and see the outcome of.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to look forward to. Are you guys preparing at all for the finals as well? I mean, it is going to be a test, a weekend filled with gameplay. Is stamina ever a factor, Taz? Were you guys getting tired at all over the course of the double elimination bracket?
Well, no, personally, I'm not. I'm willing to keep getting the matches going as much as I can, but also taking that bit of a break to keep your mentality there. You don't want to get burnt out too early, especially with this weekend coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys taking the time to chat with me here this afternoon. I do want to give you sort of a moment to maybe do any shout-outs you have to anybody that's tuning in and watching. Semtex, we'll start with you and kind of go down the line. Anything you want to sort of say out to the community?
Shout out to my dad. He usually watches my games. That's all I gotta say.
That's awesome. Shout out to the dad. Taz?
I would say the same for my brother. He usually watches the games as well, but it just shows from where we are right now, it shows anyone can make it. You just need to put in that bit of effort and get a good team around you, and anyone can make it to this point.
Sandy, any shout-outs?
I'd say shout out to Chloe for always calling me every single game I have without fail and always making a distraction.
All right, and then pause here so I know to edit. And I'll ask this question here. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat with me this afternoon. Semtex, Taz, Sandy, McGuff, I really appreciate you all stopping in here and chatting with me. And again, the best of luck to you this weekend. Whoever you go up against is going to be a tough opponent, so I don't know if you'll need it, but I'll give it to you anyway. Best of luck for you this weekend, and thanks again for chatting with me.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome, everybody, to the VAIL VRML Season 1 EU Grand Finals. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I will be your sole conductor in today's journey into the last match of the EU regular season. An incredibly hype regular season it has been, with 11 weeks of gameplay to get to this stage. We had top 8 teams battle it out in a double elimination bracket, where Access Denied went up against French Croissants United and won 2-0. They went up against Crimson Claw and lost 2-0 to get knocked down into the losers bracket. We then tuned into them defeating Sunset Ravens, the Bombers, and just yesterday, Access Denied defeating Meeks to now qualify all the way through from that losers bracket off of round 2 for a rematch against Crimson Claw in a best of 5 instead of a best of 3. And so a little bit of a different environment this afternoon in terms of how map picks work and how side choice works and all of that. Right now, we actually already have all of the maps picked and selected and the sides chosen for the 5 maps that'll be played this afternoon. The way that it works, because we don't have 5 maps in rotation for regular season, is that we're actually going to be playing, replaying 2 maps potentially if we go 5 maps. Because it's a best of 5, we could be done in 3 maps. If Crimson Claw win 3 maps in a row, they will be crowned first place for EU in Season 1. They'll come away with $2,000 in cash, and the the status of being locked in as VAIL's VRML Season 1 finalist. Second place doesn't come away with nothing. They still get locked in at $800 in cash coming in from our sponsors, AxeLab, ProTube, and HyperX. We really do appreciate the support of all of our sponsors contributing into the prize pool, and ultimately AxeLabs being the largest donor there with $10,000 in total to VRML for us to distribute across the regions. And so we really do appreciate the support from AxeLabs into that prize pool. It's a tremendous offering, and again, only possible because of their stellar sponsorship. So we really do appreciate them. Get ready for today because it's going to be filled with action-packed gameplay. We have 2 of the best teams in the region, Crimson Claw and Access Denied. Access Denied not having as clean a record as Crimson Claw. Crimson Claw still remaining undefeated from the regular season to the postseason. They have not lost a match. They are the Acer of the EU region, essentially, and they are dominating through this postseason, but we saw some glimpses of maybe some weak points for Crimson Claw yesterday. We saw Access Denied do a fantastic job battling up against Meeks, who challenged Crimson Claw. I think they got 6 points each map, and so, you know, it was 9-6, 9-6. Crimson Claw won in a best of 3 2-map wins, but Access Denied did something very similar to Meeks, and so if we're going off how these teams have played each other through the postseason, how we've gotten here, it does end up kind of making you wonder, maybe we are going to see a pretty dang even back and forth. Maybe Crimson Claw will actually be challenged for the first time all season long. Not to say that they haven't been challenged. Obviously, we had a really close series just yesterday. But again, it's the undefeated record there that remains so staunch in my mind that it's just going to be so hard for Access Denied to overcome that, and they very much are the underdogs going into this. You compare the records, 10-0 to 4-4. They've got more games played than Access Denied. Their seed is 1st to 4th in comparison to 1st to 2nd between Meeks, but the 4th seed beat Meeks, the 2nd seed, just yesterday as well in a dominant performance. So again, it's hard to say what we're going to get in terms of performance at the end of this season here with this matchup between Crimson Claw and Access Denied, and that's the beauty of the postseason, is the unknown. Where are we going to go? What's going to be the outcome? We're 15 minutes away from knowing what that outcome is going to be. We're 15 minutes away from diving into that best of 5, kicking things off and figuring out who is the best in the EU region, because right now it's a toss-up. If you were to ask me yesterday, I'd say Crimson Claw Meeks, that's kind of the 1 and 2 I think it's going to be. Obviously, they're 1 and 2 seeded, so that's kind of where my mind goes. I stick with regular season seeding, but Access Denied have stepped up when the pressure has been on, when the postseason has come into play. They've performed, in my opinion, better than they have over the course of regular season. Granted, I haven't had a ton of regular season eyes on them, if any, but they're looking very good here, and they're competing with number 2, number 3. They're beating number 2, number 3, and they're ultimately now deserved of this challenge against the number 1 seed, against the undefeated powerhouse of Crimson Claw. So, again, a strong series today. If I had to vote, I'm going to go Crimson Claw just based off of purely performance and record. But part of me does truly believe Access Denied have a chance here of surprising us all, of being that underdog and of surpassing Crimson Claw, defeating them and delivering them their first defeat. There's no bracket reset. So despite it being a double elimination, if Crimson Claw do lose, we're not going to play another best of 5. This is do or die here in this single best of 5 for the grand finals. So super hype and looking forward to the series that we're going to be diving into here in just 15 minutes. I am going to take a break. We're going to drop off with an interview with Crimson Claw. And when we come back in 15 minutes, it'll be the start of map 1 in this best of 5 series between number 1 versus number 4 in the EU region. You're not going to want to miss it. Don't go anywhere.
Hello and welcome to the VAIL VR Master League. My name is Chambe, and with me are the cornerstone of the EU League. It's the pack of VAIL sweats. It's Crimson Claw. Today there's Pan, T, Frosty, Mel, Jointman, and Mott. How you guys doing?
Fantastic, thank you, Chambe.
Very good.
Yes. Yeah, very good, thanks.
Heck yeah. I mean, so far the postseason, you guys have essentially reached the end, right? But let's rewind. 12 weeks down in Season 1. How did it feel going into the initial part of the postseason? How did it feel to skip the Challenger Cup?
It was like at the start of the season, there was that initial point of fear because we had to test the waters to see if there was like an upcoming team that was going to really test us. And we certainly did see that, particularly people like Meeks and Access Denied shocked us. But being able to skip the Challengers Cup was quite convenient, considering sort of availability issues, etc. But not really going too deep into that. But because of the ability to skip Challenger Cup, we've had a bit of a breeze going into the finals, and we're really excited to get straight into it.
You guys went past Meeks and others. Did you expect to be a top 7 team though in the EU?
Well, I mean, there aren't that many teams at this current point in time for the game, but like, you know, given the current set of teams, we always knew would be around like top 3 or something, because obviously we have a lot more of the experience than the other teams that are currently playing. But it was a bit of a concern, especially when we saw teams like specifically Meeks. Like, we actually thought, like, if these guys like keep up this trend of improving to the extent that they are, then they have a chance to actually, you know, like possibly taking like a top 1 spot in MMR if things keep going. So, but yeah, usually we've been thinking about staying in at least the top 3. So,
and you guys have definitely accomplished that. And from what I've seen, I'm gonna toss this to, you know, Frosty, to Mott, May, and Joint. You guys tell me, what was the most difficult part? We'll start off with Frosty. What was the most difficult part as an individual player for you in Season 1 of VAIL?
I would probably say getting into VAIL. I'm coming from Pavlov, so the transition of recoil and everything was kind of the same as Pavlov, but obviously there's a skill ceiling of being swung or be swung kind of aspect. So that's something I had to learn to not hold angles but swing corners instead, and that was like my most difficult part of adapting to VAIL in Season 1, is getting the play style kind of hard-coded in.
Mel, talk to me.
Frosty on the team, and
go for it.
We saw like a rapid acceleration in his ability and skill, especially mechanically, because it was quite concerning considering the slow-paced nature of Pavlov. But he comes in and, like, despite being, how old are you, Frosty?
I'm 32.
32. Okay. So you'd almost be retired, right, for Counter-Strike? You're at the end of your career?
I'll probably say so, yeah.
But Mel, talk to me. What was the most difficult part for you this season?
So I've had the same experience as Frosty. I was a Pavlov player. Adapting to the VO playstyle was a bit difficult for me, even though I was a pretty aggressive Pavlov player. And also, I'm about a month new to this game, maybe 2 months at this point. I can't really remember. So I've had to learn the maps, the call-outs, which guns are meta. The recoil change is so much different from Pavlov. Also, the time to kill, guns not being one-shot headshot like they are in Pavlov whenever you don't have a helmet or stuff like that. I'd say all that stuff has been pretty weird to me.
Okay, so like Frosty, we picked up Mel, and being Pavlov player, it's a lot slower paced game, but Mel has managed to pick it up very quickly, and he's shown a dominant force, starting to hit lots of top frag games, and is really doing his part for the team. It's been brilliant.
That's great to hear. I think it's incredible that you guys have been able to repurpose players from other games and have them be so successful in a great team in the EU region. But what the community, I think, is wondering, do you have, without spoiling any trade secrets of Crimson Claw, but do you guys have any plans tackling the finals right now?
When it comes to the finals, it's really just about making sure we're mechanically warmed up for it. Otherwise, we're just sticking to the same stuff that's, it's tried and tested, it works. So our biggest worry is probably just, like if we're up against Meeks in finals, like we better not have a big upset. But yeah, it's just trying to keep on track, trying to keep ourselves at our best, and specifically mechanically, like some of the players that I've seen recently in EU, they're surprisingly good when it comes to their mechanics. Like if we slip up in a gunfight, then it definitely shows. So it's just about making sure we're staying on top for final at least.
A long time. We have a lot of back-tested and backlogged strats that we can always fall back on if it goes badly. So we have that level of confidence and that safety in the finals that we believe. But I'm certainly not going to underestimate Meeks if we meet them there.
Good to know. No, really good to know. Are there any other? I think in the VAIL, man, are there any other teams that have surprised you greatly during the postseason events this first season in the EU?
So I mean, I saw Access Denied, and I've seen so coming from Onward, I've seen them play Onward, and they've been pretty good at Onward. And the thing I've seen over the years of playing VAIL is that Onward teams don't transfer as well as, for example, Contractors or Pavlov teams do. But like Access Denied did give me a bit of a shock because they were really on it. They were really, really quick, because it takes a long time for Onward players to adjust from what I've seen. So I would like to shout them out there. They've been absolutely brilliant. I hope they stay in the scene to improve further and get to those top spots.
Is definitely Access Denied, and if you've been watching the the Challenger Cup, there was a bit of an upset in that bracket. They were up against Bombers, and they were able to take Bombers down, which was honestly quite an improvement. Access Denied specifically, Bombers was thought to be better than them at the start of the season, but they've really picked it up. And people like Sandy on Access Denied, I've talked to them sometimes while ranking scrims, and I've realized like teams like Access Denied that have only started playing for a few months, over those few months, it's insane seeing them start off from a really a low non-experienced team to being an actual threat in the EU scene. People don't realize that teams pick up really quick if you give them a few months. So yeah.
Frosty, any thoughts on just the teams in the EU coming into the postseason?
I think it's a little bit about what T said about Access Denied and Mix doing as well as they're doing. They've really surprised us. When we jumped into the season and postseason, not gonna lie, we had a little bit of ego. We are competitive. We were pretty sure we'd ace this with any flaws. But I mean, Mix and Access Denied has really, really surprised us and humbled us.
Frosty, how about yourself? Any thoughts on the other EU teams in the postseason?
No, it's a bit back to what T was saying about Mix and Access Denied. They really surprised us this season. I'm not gonna lie, when we got into the season and postseason, we had a bit of an ego. We are very competitive of us. But Mix and Access Denied has really surprised us and also humbled us in both the season and postseason. And now we're facing Mix tomorrow in the semifinals. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous for the match tomorrow, but I think we got it.
It's certainly rare to see teams develop that quickly over the course of one season. I don't think I ever really see that, especially in Europe.
Well, guys, I just want to appreciate your time. Thanks for coming out to the Armory and speaking with me in a little picnic. I'm really excited to see Crimson Claw. I mean, you guys have been sitting at the #1 spot. People are expecting you to do really well in the finals. But, you know, put on a good show for us. You guys have done spectacular for Season 1. I really hope you guys continue on with that much success for Season 2 as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, John, mate, for your time. Been brilliant.
Welcome, everybody, to the VAIL VRML Season 1 EU Grand Finals. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I am your solo caster into today's journey into the tippity top of the EU VAIL ecosystem, sphere, whatever you want to call it. It is the best of the best in the EU region, battling it out for a chance at $2,000 in cash for first place, $800 for second. So either way, these teams are coming out on top with money in their pockets, but it's a big difference in what that money is going to be if they win today or lose. In a best-of-5 series, we'll figure out who is the best in the EU region at the end of today's stream, and I cannot wait for it. Thank you all for tuning in, hanging out, and enjoying the action with me today. We're just about ready to dive in. I'll go ahead and give the teams the go. And we should be hopping into map 1 between these monsters of the EU. Crimson Claw, an undefeated squad so far in the regular season. If you missed the pre-show, or you missed the interview, you missed a little bit of an insight into who this team and who they are. Access Denied in comparison, stepping up in the task of postseason, going 4-4 over the course of the regular season, but fighting through the losers bracket, defeating Meeks yesterday in a 2-map best-of-3 win, and now challenging the best in the region against Crimson Claw. And in a best-of-5, who knows what's going to happen, quite frankly. The maps have already been chosen, the sides have already been picked, so a lot of info already sort of out there for the likes of these teams. And hold on, I got to jump into our first map. There it is. It looks like we are headed to Sunna for map number 1 to kick this series off between these two teams. We have on the, so I get the sides right here before we start. On the attacking side, Access Denied. On the defending side, Crimson Claw. And into map 1 we go. Ooh, a nice lob nade over the top. Almost catching Semtech out. He's going to swing wide. Frames are in hand for Sandy, just in case they come right into the face of another opponent. Both Mel and Frost scoop up their frags, and another getting picked apart on the edge. And Crimson Claw are opening up their pistol set in dominant fashion, with not a single player going down. We may see a replica of the last time these teams faced off against each other. 27-3 in 3 maps is what Crimson Claw secured. 3 rounds were scored by Access Denied against this team over the course of 3 maps in the regular season. That could be what happens this afternoon to set expectations straight. You know, it is, oops, sorry on the replay there. Hit the wrong button. A really cool opening replay. It is at least a dominant start. Well, Access Denied going to get an opportunity. Let's see the audio coming in a little loud. It's all back there. Sorted now. And as the smokes dissipates, this Access Denied team may be starting to feel a little bit of the pressure, especially from a flank coming in from John Yakuza on the backside. There's 1. There's 2. And there's the round. John Yakuza with a double to wrap things up. I don't know if I caught that in time. I think I got the kill. I did. And a 2-0 opener for Crimson Claw. I gotta wonder if Access Denied are going to be bringing their postseason mindset here this afternoon, or if they're going to be trapped in the regular season score line of 27-3. Because again, this Access Denied team looked very strong over the course of this postseason, fighting through the losers bracket, but they did lose to Crimson Claw 2-0 when they faced them earlier in the double elimination bracket. That is also information for both teams to work with, both teams to adapt to. I'm very curious to see just how exactly they are going to adapt. Aids utility going over the top. No aggressive push through the smoke just yet. Shots over the top from Pan as they try and hunt for the entirety of this access denied offense. And there's one. They may have options for more if they can time their peaks right, if they can get the information they need. There's a lot of angles watching them. On the flank. Yakuza is here, though, and they pick up another double kill. Can they make it a third? Semtax gets pushed by Pan in a flash. And this is not looking good for access denied. 2 grand. Getting closer and closer to going into the pockets of Crimson Claw every round they win. That's how you got to look at it at the end of the day. It's certainly a best of 5, but if access denied don't win a map, don't win a round, we could be done in 27 points from Crimson Claw here. Now attacking side on Sunna, definitely not the favored side. That's a nice opener here, some good utility, a good frag over the top, nearly catches a double, but nothing connecting yet as they fly out of the smoke. Semtex will find one. They'll be hunting for more, as they do have in the tucked-in corner there. Mel patiently waiting for the rest of this defense. Pushing the flank. John Yakuza, surprise, surprise, pushing in and collapsing onto this offense. Mel cleans things up, and it's 4 left alive for Crimson Claw. This may not be a long best of 5. This may be fast. This may be Crimson Claw stepping up to the plate and continuing to be the dominant undefeated team that they are. Now, undefeated doesn't mean that they won't lose a round, but at this pace, they may not lose a round because they are looking very good against access denied. See if we can bring this back on the side of access denied to a little bit more of a tighter half. They really do need at least a couple of points on the board, and some shots erupting over the top. Nice trade over the back, and there's Mel swinging in and picking up a double to clean things up for Crimson Claw. And they lost the most they've lost. But shout out to everyone tuning in, and a shout out to the teams playing. I'm sure they'll be watching back on the video as John Yakuza. Oh my goodness, there's been a menace to this team. 7-0-1. Not afraid to play aggressive, getting the full green light to just challenge anyone and everyone on the access denied offense. And another pickup. Earfield goes down to a beautiful angle from John. Pan finds one, and on that B-site push, all that's left is McGuff and Sandy, and both get picked apart by Pan and Flying Dutchman of the Crimson Claw. 5 alive again on a defensive half. This is not looking good for access denied. This is a 6-0 half with nobody dying in the 6th round. That's tough because usually at this stage you start to see teams making adjustments. You start to see teams trying to adapt to what's working and not working. And I do feel like access denied are continuing to throw themselves at this site despite John putting on a dominant performance, countering them every step of the way with aggressive moves. Here finally comes some utility to disrupt John up through the center here, but is it going to be enough? Pan picking up a double over on the side, and a double by John on the back end. 5 alive. 2 rounds with no kills from access denied and a 7-0 half. We go into the last round here of map 1. We've been playing the video game for 7 minutes. They've scored around a minute. We could be done with an entire series in half an hour at this pace. Take a look at the votes on in chat. Decent amount of faith in the likes of Access Denied, but right now I gotta wonder what they're doing to fight what is a losing battle so far, and it seems to be continue to do the same thing. Push B site. And it's just clinical Crimson Claw performance here right now. And, I mean, this is what they did to them in the double elimination half. You know, they really dominated Access Denied 2-0 in that series. And it's got to be something that's maybe fresh in Access Denied minds. Maybe it's the map. You know, you got to consider that they are in a best of 5, so they have 3 maps to play out. So you do have some sense of some ability to sort of forego a map maybe you're not comfortable with. In most cases, in regular season, you'd be able to ban maps that you don't want to. Actually, no, because there's only 3 maps. I don't think you can. No, you wouldn't, there are no map bans. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe Sunna just not the map for Crimson Claw, but Access Denied are fighting back a little bit here on the pistol half. Maybe the defensive swap is what they needed on Sunna as Year Fuel pinches Pan and Flying Dutchman is alone. The lone Dutchman in a 1v2. And has utility to toss. That nade doesn't catch Semtax, and the smoke gives away their position on the swing. The 1-2 punch puts Access Denied on the board. And everyone in chat can put their brooms away because it is not a clean 9-0 sweep in map 1 from Crimson Claw. Finally on the board. Maybe that's the momentum shift they needed here. As John Yakuza does push up, gets a taste of his own medicine with a bit of the flank there from McGuff and is ready for the push. On the other side, you do have the rotation. You do have Flying Dutchman putting up some rounds to the middle, and John fending off this mid-rotation that is coming now hard and heavy from Access Denied. Trying to adjust and swing, and Yearfield shutting down John, who's been a devastating tool there for the likes of Crimson Claw, 12-2. And it takes us back to the upper stairs here, the upper floor, where we do still have a battle unfurling between Dutchman, Frosty, and Pan in a 4v3 advantage. Access Denied. Where is the scanner? It's not at a site where they have full control, but there is utility that Frosty's throwing now. Trying to enable it so that Pan can rotate around and tuck into this back site, get the scanner down, and they'll have a bit of a defensive round here to hold. And oh my goodness, everyone from Access Denied getting picked apart by Pan and the defense up through the center. The scanner does go down in a massive rotation in what could be a 9-1 map opener here for Crimson Claw if this doesn't get shut down by Sandy. The 1v2, a task that's looking daunting in front of them and has to start with Frosty going down. They saw Frosty peek. Frosty's gathered info on Sandy. They're going to rotate and do a double swing. Better 2 than 1. Or they're going to wait for the scanner interrupt and force position from Sandy. 15 seconds left. Sandy has to find these kills, and they are not finding. They're playing Ring Around the Rosie. There's one. Oh, my goodness. The double almost lined itself up. They're going to go for the interrupt. They got pistol in hand, and they cannot find the shots they need onto Frosty. That would have been an incredible clutch to keep things going, but the scanner is there. Frosty is there, and Crimson Claw are here to play with a 9-1 opener on map 1. It's an impressive performance, to say the least, from the undefeated squad in the EU region. What do you do if you're Access Denied at this stage? A rough opener, to say the least, but you found a point. You did something there. You fought back. You bounced back a touch. Map swap, is that going to do it? You know, because we're going to Miru and Kitty. That's guaranteed. We're not going to play you don't play a back-to-back. You don't play the same map twice in a row. So the point being that we'll play all 3 maps once, and then the teams got to pick which of the 2 maps they were going to play if we went to rounds 4 and 5. So we could be done in 3. We could go through Kitty, Miru, and Sunna. They could all be won by Crimson Claw, and we could be out of here in 3 maps. But if Access Denied can put even 1 point or 1 map on the board, then we are going to go to that 4th map pick and potentially a 5th. If Access Denied can step things up here, or if we go 2-2 down into it. So that is the path for success for Access Denied. They need to step it up. But like I said, if we are to replicate a regular season performance from Access Denied against Crimson Claw, if we're to replicate how they performed against Crimson Claw in the double elimination bracket series, the tale is that it's going to be 27-3, that there's only going to be 1 point a map secured by Access Denied against this dominant performing team of Crimson Claw. And that's the story. The underdog tale is that Access Denied have been playing a great postseason, and I do still think there's some hope for them yet. If they can swap a map, get a strong pistol start, see how things go, maybe a kitty opener on defense could get them into the right momentum shift, but they need something to get some more points on the board because, yeah, that was an incredibly fast map 1, and I do think if anything, they may need a timeout right now. They may need to take a bit of a break, a bit of a breather. If you're on the other side of Crimson Claw, I imagine you want to keep things rolling. You've just had a very fast map 1. You've been preparing for this for some time now as the number 1 team, anticipating that you'd be here in the grand finals. And so I got to imagine that they want to keep this momentum flowing here this afternoon. So we'll see what we're getting. We are waiting on a 5th to join back onto Crimson Claw's side. So maybe a tech issue, maybe a tech pause. I'm not getting any details on a timeout yet, so I imagine it's something that's going to be a quick swap, and we should be into map 2 soon, as I do see that 5th reconnecting here. I think it was Pan with a quick reconnect, and I think we are going to be diving into map 2 here any moment. We can take a quick look at the art that's on display here this afternoon. I mean, modern art is hard to really understand sometimes, so. But some nice drawings nonetheless, and here we go. Into map number 2, taking us to Miru. And that rhymed. It's time to get into our second map of this best of 5 series of the EU Grand Finals. Both of these squads coming in with a tremendous amount of prep and practice, and ultimately I do think that Access Denied have to step it up here in map 2. They need to lock in an early opener on defense, and Crimson Claw on the attack could be dangerous on Miru. It really is going to be an interesting tone setter here for the rest of this series, quite frankly. Are we going to go to a series map after this, or is Access Denied taking us to 4 maps to figure out who our winner is, maybe even 5? That is all TBD as we do get back into it for rounds number 1 of map 2. And look at the smoke. Heavily doused out and blinding everyone. Beautifully placed, great walls, great lines. That's the textbook utility usage. On the flank comes Semtax, and a fight on the back end puts Semtax into a bit more of an even exchange here. Picks up another, swings for Frosty, and Frosty cannot find the kill. It's all up to Pan, who finds one in a 1v2. Needs to pick up Sandy on the backside, and the scanner down. They're going to try and defuse in the smoke, barely able to see at the edge. And I don't know if that was a defensive or offensive smoke, but that was key in getting Crimson Claw their first point, but they just barely got it. Access denied came to play in Map 2, despite a strong Map 1 loss. The question is, are Crimson Claw going to snowball? On offense, no less on Miru. Miru, maybe more one of the more 50-50 maps in terms of teams winning defense and offense, but we'll have to see if that's the case this afternoon or if Crimson Claw are going to run away with it like they did Map 1. John Yakuza swinging up, looking for the kill onto McGuff. Can't find it as Sandy's defending the rush. Utility and Nate's coming over the top, and McGuff's still alive and well, defending up through that center line. And having to rotate out, finds little success there, and access denied, put on a beautiful defensive round here. Much more in control than they have been, frankly, all series with that defensive round, and they need to take that one to the bank. They need to remember how that one felt, because that was nice. That was well done. That was well defended. You can see everyone giving props, knowing right where they're going to go, and it's time to get motivational. It's time to pump up. You can maybe even see it in some of their expressions, doing some stretching, doing the fist pumps, and gosh, I would love to hear what they're chatting about, but I can't guarantee it's family friendly. Into the action we go as Pan advancing forward here, and nice utility Nate predicted by Taz there. Yakuza going down, a big factor for the offense of Crimson Claw. They've been finding key frags, and just like that, Frosty picks up a double, flying, eliminates all defense at B, and so forcing some rotations. A site clean and uncovered now as well, and both Semtex and McGuff have a 2v3 on their hands. Scanner not down yet, and McGuff finding Dutchman is huge. Thankfully, Mott with scanner in hand hasn't been detected yet, but is just a peek away from getting scooped up. Frosty has a slice of HP left and is trying to defend Mott on this rotation. Once they get here, though, they do really have to full send.
30 seconds remaining.
And on the defensive half, we do have Semtex. Puts one bullet into Mott. Needs one more bullet for Frosty with a slice of HP there. Scanner down and time ticking. Frosty can't overcome the access denied defense. 2 points on the board here in Map 2, and this is what they needed as a team. The celebration there around each other. McGuff stoked, and I love to see the expressions. You can tell they're locked in. You can tell they're keeping each other focused. They've got their positions they're running to. At least I can. You can really see it in the expression, and that's the beauty of VR. But even though we're online, we do get this amazing expression of what they would be doing in real life. Taz here fending off a big push from Crimson Claw, one that works well. This is the site that they planted on the pistol set, and that worked out well for them. And on the swing, a trade. Yakuza going down again, a big shooter for the likes of Crimson Claw. Might hurt more than just a normal 1-for-1. As Semtex finds 2 and 2-for-1. Oh no, and Sandy! What happened?
Round starting.
A self-grenade. Oh, that's got to sting a little bit. Not exactly what they were hoping for on the defensive half, but 2-2 for Crimson Claw as they continue to make this one close, and Miru delivering to its 50-50 sort of win rate in terms of side defensive half winning or losing. If you are just tuning in, you can find the scores up in the top right. Map 1 went 9-1 to Crimson Claw. And so it's good to see the likes of Access Denied fighting back here in Map 2. And it's a very patient defense here. They're not wanting to overextend too far, keeping it tight around objective. Semtax's position getting smoked and given away there. They'll throw a flash of a smoke of their own to deny a different rotation up through the middle there. And John Yakuza may be popping out. So might Pan, and the 1-for-1 there. Into the smoke comes the rest of this offense, and Sandy battling it back with a full auto submission. Flying Dutchman here to stay, and we're into a 2v2 with Taz and McGuff trying to hold things down at A site. Scanner goes down by Pan. Dutchman still 4-4. Pan 3-2. Taz considering swinging wide. Pan definitely knows they're here in the tight corner. With those shots, that position's definitely given away, and Dutchman picks up a nice pick. McGuff's gonna fly out and gets pinched. Dutchman with a double to lock it in there, and Crimson Claw back on top in Map 2, excuse me. And a reminder, if you're just tuning in, this is best of 5, so despite the scoreboard only being equipped for a best of 3, it is a best of 5 this afternoon. I may be able to change that even. I'm not sure, though, and I don't want to mess up anything, so we'll just keep it there. If we go to 4 maps, we'll reset the scores, and, well, we'll reset one of the scores so we can keep them all on record there. But a bit of a pause coming in from Crimson Claw, despite a successful round. Now, last time they did play it pretty slow and patient. They took their time up through the middle. They fought back against that standard center defender. Mott picks up one, but they'll go down in a trade. And the smokes are pulled for B site. Yakuza and Pan making their way forward here, and Ear Fuel picking up a big kill on the Pan. Scanner goes down, Yakuza tucks in, and it's time for Crimson Claw to hold B site. Yakuza swings and is shut down by McGuff, who's looking for more in a 1v3. And as the side hits him, Frosty there with a great pinch, and Crimson Claw back in good form with a 2-round lead in Map 2, 4-2. I don't know if I predicted it or cursed it, but I did say that we'd have a similar scoreline to the last time these teams played, which was 27-3 in 3 maps. Right now, they've got 3 points. Can Access Denied get a 3rd point here and score more than they have on this team all season long? And again, I think they can, because it's Access Denied. It's postseason Access Denied. It's different than regular season Access Denied. There's prizing on the line. There's $2 grand for first place that these teams are fighting for. And that's got to be somehow factoring into how these teams perform. As Taz picks up a nice double. Sandy firing over the top as well. And Taz going to continue to hold down B side as Dutchman picks up Syntax. And some rotations up through the middle. Is that a smoke? I think it is. Pan going to be denied vision, pushing out through the smoke. Gets caught nicely by Sandy on a good rotation, a good swing, good comms coming in from the Access Denied defense. And in a 4v1 situation, Dutchman has a lot to do. There it is, back on the board. We're headed towards a tied half, if Access Denied have anything to say about it. And the map of Miru will live up to its 50-50 sort of history in terms of how teams end up scoring. Either that or Crimson Claw take a 5-3 lead, swap, go on defense, and have a chance of taking this into a 2-map lead in a best-of-3 series. Accuser goes down and through the smoke. Pan still being given away, so is Taz, and in that audio queuing, they'll find some kills as Pan swings wide on the hunt for more. Year Fuel picks up a nade over the top. Nice quick peek from Mott, unexpected by the likes of this defense that was rotating here, and Mott will go down to Year Fuel in a 1v1, and now we have equal HP bars across the board between Year and Dutchman. But with Scanner down, oh, they're not going to be able to get the interrupt. And this is going to be the round into Crimson Claw's hands off of time or off of kills. As they go up 5-3, and we swap sides, putting Crimson Claw on the defense and Access Denied on the attack, and play the back half of map 2. On the note, Access Denied have scored more points against this team than they have all regular season. I actually don't know what the scoreline was specifically when they lost to them in the postseason, I think 2 weekends ago, or last weekend, in the double elimination bracket. Can't remember what the scoreline was when they faced off. So maybe that's not true, but from the stats that I have, it is. So, or at least achieving that goal. And now with a really good pistol opener, Taz says, we may end up taking this map still, as there's only 2 left on the likes of Crimson Claw on this retake. Scanner down and everyone healthy on Access Denied. That was a rough hold on B side from Crimson Claw. And a beautiful push from the likes of AD. Mott does catch 1, gets the angle on 2. The push out of the smoke makes it 3. And now Dutchman has the task of picking up 2 here. Pops out of the smoke and then trades for Semtax. And then what was a 5v2 ends with a Scanner down and 1 left alive for AD. So a bit closer than maybe it could have or should have been, but it's a round win. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. They close the gap on that lead, and 5-4 map 1. Taz flying out of smoke. Dutchman picking up a double, and down goes the offense. Just like that of Access Denied. Double in the tunnel and double up top. Crimson Claw bump their lead back up to 2. 3 more points to go. They've got themselves 2 maps, and we're headed to a map 3 series decider for Crimson Claw. 3 more rounds, 2 map wins, and we're headed to 1 more map and $2 grand into the pocket of Crimson Claw. Gotta be something on their mind right now as we do dive into the action. Nades and utility connecting smokes, forcing John Accuser to rotate off after they've already caught 1, but it is still a 4v4, and B-side is in control of this Access Denied team, and when they're in control, it's bad news for Crimson Claw. 3v2 now, as Dutchman and Mott are alone in the 2v3, but we've seen them come back from worse. Mott now a 1v3, catches the first, picks up the second, but trades down, and Taz left alive. Another solo contender for Access Denied, but again, closing that gap back to a 1-point lead for Crimson Claw. Shout out to everyone tuning in, hanging out, and enjoying the action. I see Grimmest Gaming, Wraith, Joshi, Gever. Who else is in here? Tabby, Alta, Pop VR, Mel, Pedal, Stacy. Thank you all for tuning in. Shots out over the top is Task. Nice nades flying over the top. And Taz tucks in. John picks up a nice kill to even the odds a little bit, but Access Denied are in a tight spot here in round 12. Scanner could go down soon, and it does. John's going to find one, and through those boxes being penetrable, Yearfield finds a wonderful double kill transfer, and we're into a 1v1 just like that. Oh, and quickly squandered, unfortunately. Crimson Claw will have time to defuse with 30 seconds left on the scanner. But a really nice double kill there. You love to see the transfer there. And Crimson Claw up 7-5 map 2. AD are up by 2, but it's not a lot, quite frankly. I figured it would be a little bit more, considering how dominant they performed on map 1, 9-1, and really didn't let AD get any footing. Here in map 2, though, Miru, AD definitely waking up a little bit. Maybe map 3, Kitty, will be the map that enables them to push us to at least a 4th map. Trade down in the tunnel. Oh, and Yakuza predicting nicely the rotation. Catches one. Utility goes out over the top and finds a second. A nice double kill there. Keeps Crimson Claw in control. Puts Crimson Claw up to map points. And an 8-5 lead. What do Access Denied do? They have to come together here. They need a motivational speech from Sandy, something. They got to keep it alive. They got to find 4 in a row. Take map 2 and push us to at least 4 maps in this best of 5. I love to see this team not backing down from the challenge and instead sticking to the tried and true strategies that have worked for them all series long. Flying in to B-site together as a squad, trying to get Scanner down, getting fended back off by the likes of Pan with a double kill over the top, and it puts Yearfield alone, and, well, they found one in a 1v2. The trouble is Mott behind them, the Scanner not being down. They have a minute 15, so they don't need to force Scanner out, and instead they can't have 2 hands on gun. Doesn't matter, though. Access Denied. Take another map. Access Denied. Go up 2-0 in a best of 5 and push us to a series deciding map in our 3rd map of this best of 5. Excuse me, did I say Access Denied? I think I meant Crimson Claw. Crimson Claw. I think I said Access Denied. I don't know. Okay, it's been a long weekend. Map 3, though. And Crimson Claw looking good with 9-1 on Sunna, 9-5 on Miru. And now we go to Kitty for the 3rd map. I think we may be getting a timeout. Like I said, if there was ever a time when you're in the grand finals in a best of 5, now would be a good time for a timeout. So we'll see if that's what's called. I think we're just getting some player swaps. So maybe with this Kitty map, we're getting some subs getting brought in here. It is the grand finals too. So if you really, you do want to give everyone on your team a chance to play in the last series. And I think Frosty is trying to speak to us somehow. There you go. All right, we gotta. I can't vet everything that's being drawn. Okay, we gotta be cautious. We gotta be cautious on what's getting put up. We'll filter it out. So far, nothing obscene. I think they drew a drooling man. Or a crocodile or some sort. A dragon, maybe. I'm not sure. Oh, it's a claw? Is it a red claw? It's a crimson claw with blood dripping off of it. I see. Okay. You tell me what you guys thought. Think this was. You can see how I thought it was a dragon, okay? Or maybe not. But it's a claw. It's a claw with, like, you know, with blood dripping off of it. It's a big crab claw. Upside down, like if the crab was at the top of the picture. It's a crimson claw. What's this picture? The minigames we have for you in store in this EU Grand Finals are nothing but spectacular. So shout out to you all for tuning in. Thank you actually to everybody that is stopping by. We do appreciate you all hanging out. And Jiroki did catch me on saying access denied is advancing on when I meant Crimson Claw. I got tripped up. I got tripped up on sides. Okay, that can't be perfect. Looks like I am getting the go-ahead from these teams that they are all now in lobby and ready to go. And so, we're headed to the inevitable final map of this best of 3, or the start of the comeback for the likes of Access Denied. Kitty gonna be where it's all decided, or not decided. We will find out as we get ready to dive in to round 1 of our first map here this afternoon, or third map this afternoon in this best of 5. And again, what a series it's been. Access Denied are waking up, and so I think we may see them come alive here in map 2. The unfortunate reality, though, is that Crimson Claw, map 1, 9-1, map 2, 9-5. Now on defense, starting defense on Kitty. Arguably, Kitty, one of the most defensive-sided maps. And so it really is going to be a tough series here for Access Denied. They're going to have to weather the storm of Crimson Claw on defense. They're going to have to pick a round or two. And the pistol round, quite frankly, may be their best chance for a round on offense on Kitty. Oh, but look at Mel, tucked in behind everyone, only gets one for their trouble. In comes the rest of this defense, though. Sandy picks up a nice pushback. Scanner is going to go down. Yearfield somehow gets the pistol up in time, connects. Smoke comes in, and Yearfield pops out of it, but Mott there to fight back. John Yakuza pinching from the side as Scanner is down on B, and the lone defender here of Sandy needs reinforcement from McGuff, who is now crashing back to site, is here to defend. Yakuza's trying to interrupt. There's one, looking for the second. Yakuza's trying to stick it and can't. Access Denied take their pistol round in a stylist fashion. Go up 1-0 on map 3, and McGuff getting some celebratory face massages from Yearfield. Access Denied in the lead for maybe the first time or second time all series long in this best of 5. McGuff looking like they only had one hand on that SMG there. Got a little more recoil than they were calling for. And on the other side, John Yakuza goes down in a chaotic push towards A site. Rotations from defense coming in to hold down A, and a 2v3 now. Taz and Yearfield trying to make some magic happen between the two of them. As Taz holds down the mini rotations coming in from this defense, the trio collapsing from all the angles. Scanner still hasn't gone down, but there's a minute left for Yearfield to try and make something happen. Frosty catches a great angle over the top. Mel with a beautiful head peek there, scoops up a kill, and when rifles are in hand, access denied. Find a little bit more challenging going up against the #1 undefeated team in the EU region. Crimson Claw yet to lose a map in postseason, undefeated in regular season. They may not lose a map all postseason long if they have anything to say about it here on Kitty. Decent nade tossed down there, but not connecting. Sandy barreling through in that smoke, deploying a second too late as Mel catches the kill. Tremendous amount of utility trying to fend off this team from advancing forward, but ultimately, oh, there it is. Mott with the double with the frag. A little bit of dancing in celebration off of what was a solid double kill nade. Pan getting a bit of praise there as well, finding no kills. So maybe just more some comforting praise than anything. But Mott 5-2 now off that double kill. Mel 6-2. Standout shooters for Crimson Claw. Access denied. Certainly hanging in there and fighting strong in map 3 despite the tough map 1 and 2 losses. At the end of the day, if they lose here, they are still coming out with $800 in cash at second place. Push comes in. Mott trying to fend it off with nades and utility. John goes down. Sandy finally finds the on-site defender and shuts them down, but not before losing 3. Are they even going to be able to get the scanner down is the question. As Yearfield on the back end fights off Pan. How much more ammo do they have left to fight off the rest of this rotation? Frosty and Mel ready to push back onto A site, and if anything, waiting for scanner to be deployed. There's the trade. Puts it into a 1v1 with scanner down, full HP. He is almost equal HP between the two. And there it is. The final kill from Frosty, locked in on site. 15 seconds left. And they've got themselves a defuse. An interrupt. And a round. Crimson Claw up 3-1 here on map 3. This is a best of 5 series. A reminder for those just tuning in. A best of 5 series. We've already played 2 maps. Crimson Claw have won those 2 maps, so this is it for Crimson Claw. If they have anything to say about it, they need 1 map win to take this series in 3, sweep access denied in 3 map wins, and be crowned first place, coming out on top with $2,000 in cash. Pan tucked into an incredible position inside the smoke, and nobody ready for them there. Just on the edge of that deployed smoke, they find 4! A quadra kill for Pan.
Round starting.
What a crazy move to push up there, tuck in on the corner of the smoke, and they just didn't even know where Pan was with that smoke in their ears popping out of it there, and wow. And Pan continues their aggressive offensive play here. 5 and 3. Taz finally shutting him down as that smoke gives way to some positioning. But on the short corner, Mel trades, or Mott trades, in a 1-for-1. Puts Frosty and Mel into a 2v1, and now Sandy alone with full HP. Didn't get the scanner all the way down. Goes for it a second time, but the flash comes in, blinding them on the rotation. Sandy catches the back of Mel, but not fully. Frosty with a slice of HP goes down, and Sandy peeks to put Crimson Claw back in control, and another point on the board. 5-1 on defense, and this is what Kitty does. It is a defensive-sided map. It tends to be 8 7-1 halves, 6-2 halves that are pretty standard. So as we get into the last 2 rounds of this half, I still don't even think if Crimson Claw come out 7-1, it doesn't mean the end for Access Denied by any means. They've got at least that 1 point, which is going to be vital because it means that when we swap sides, the pistol round doesn't decide their fate, much like it did or was close to doing in map 1. Frosty identifying the rotation up through Skate Park, finally getting picked off by Semtex. And Pan again on point. Swinging out for a second, looking for a third. Doesn't matter, McGuff finds the trade. Another.
Round starting.
The first half could be 7-1 for Crimson Claw. They are 3 points away from taking $2,000 in cash and first place in VRML Season 1 for the EU region. And in a bit of a pause, Access Denied waves to the fans, waves to the camera, and then gets ready to push, trying to avoid what would be a normal utility barrage coming in from the likes of this defense. And I guess that doesn't matter much to Mel. They'll just use the gun for a triple, blast down the skate park push, and McGuff now has to fend off a 1v5. The Crimson Claw coming for them to pitch them in half and go up 7-1. McGuff finds one. Position given away. Does the team crash or tuck in? It doesn't look like they're going to push hard, and it's because they found the scanner. McGuff has to rotate over to that side at A with scanner down.
30 seconds
Or excuse me, B. And there it is. John finds the kill. The first half, a near sweep. 7-1. Fortunately for Crimson Claw, it's not a sweep because they do have a little bit of a buffer now with the side swap. They do have the option of putting up a couple of rounds in a row here on defense. This pistol round is going to be vital, but if they lock this in 7-2, they really have a chance on the defensive side to bounce back. They put on a strong performance map too. They started to wake up after a rough loss map 1. Maybe we've regressed off of a second map loss with the fate so prevalent in their mind of second place. I don't know. But we'll see now with this defensive side swap and with Access Denied now holding down the defensive half. And look at Pan. Look at the mini-map. Doing a tremendous job of drawing this entire defense over to B site while everybody else rotated to A. And this is recognized by the defense now because they are all crashing back, but Scanner's down. The onus of defense has been swapped to the likes of Crimson Claw. And in a 1v2, Mott has a bit of a tall order in front of them. 30 seconds left, has to tuck in. And is able to. Doesn't want to let Scanner get interrupted under their nose, but needs to continue to buy time. With so little HP. That might be challenging, and Sandy one-hands Mott down with another on the scanner. Access tonight are here to stay. Just like I said, the opening pistol set going to be vital because now they have the cushion for their rifle rounds. They go into the defensive half with rifles in hand. 2 points separating them from a loss, but still it's 2 points, not 1. This could be it. This could be the side swap that they need. That one pistol round they got could be what allows them the confidence, allows them the comfort to find points consecutively on defense and get back into this series against Crimson Claw. Guff goes down fast, trying to do what Pan did for them on defense. Rotation from Yearfield gets denied by a well-timed smoke. Taz shuts down a push through that smoke, though, or maybe not. Springs out, and there it is. The kills connecting. 4 alive for access denied on their defensive half. Coming off of that pistol round win. That's 2 in a row. That's looking good. They're starting to feel the momentum. Hands are in. The reality of Kitty starting to rear its head. And Crimson Claw, despite being a dominant team, despite never losing a series all season long, even through the postseason, could suffer at the very least a map loss here this afternoon if Access Denied can continue to ride this momentum train. Uh-oh. Technical error. We just had the game crash. That's the first time that's ever happened to me all season. Fun fact. I should be able to jump in quickly back into the action. Do bear with me. It doesn't look like it was a full lobby crash. It does look like it was just on my side, so fun. But let's see if we can jump back into this matchup here. Do you think we can? Apologies again for the tech issues there. But we're back just in time for what could be the final round of the EU Grand Finals. Round 12, an 8-3 lead to Crimson Claw. A trade putting it into a 4-4. Where is the push coming from? Access denied, half to defend. Scanner goes down at A site. And it's a 2v2 for access denied. They need to hold this down. Pan at low HP. Utility coming in. Mott super far off Scanner ultimately. And Pan's position given away, but not. Oh, the kill from Sandy. 18 seconds left. They have to go for Scanner soon. They don't know where Mott has gone. And Mott ends up killing themselves off objective. Is this really how this ends? 7 seconds. Can they interrupt in time? 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh my gosh.
Match point.
Map point again. But wow, that got close. What happened with Mott there? I don't know what Mott did to kill themselves. I tried to go to their camera perspective and didn't see it, but I don't know. Overconfidence, maybe? The fact that they're just going to go for time instead of try to risk it. I mean, I know you have to, it's 1 point. You have to get it somehow. You have to fight for it, and Mel decided to let the clock try and do its job, but it did not work out. Frosty finds McGuff on the aggressive forward foot. Earfeel is up next here, but they get smoked. Have to push out through that smoke and challenge maybe a little bit more aggressively than they were hoping to. Position given away, and on the reload, John Yakuza finds one. Getting picked apart here, and now Sandy in a 1v5. Access denied, putting Sandy into a clutcher kick position, and there it is. REU Grand Finalist crowned. Crimson Claw will take it in 3 maps, 9-1 in map 1, 9-5 in map 2, and 9-4 in map 3 for a clean Season 1 victory. Congratulations to Crimson Claw. That is our grand champion. I think I have, hold on, let's see if we have it. There it is, the champion of Season 1 EU, Crimson Claw, taking first place. Congratulations to Crimson Claw for securing that, and hats off to both teams for putting on a fantastic showcase of VAIL today, and a fantastic showcase of the top of the EU region. A really fun series to tune into, and man, hats off to Crimson Claw. Let's see if we can get an interview with one of the players. Frosty should be able to jump right into this channel, but we'll see if we can get him in here. I do want to chat with the Crimson Claw team coming out on top of the EU region with a solid victory there. Oh man, what a series this has been. I can actually do something here real quick. Oh, nope, didn't want to do that. Actually, I can, hold on. Hey, I want to interview you guys. Join Discord. All right. Frosty should be jumping in. We should be chatting with the Crimson Claw captain, I believe. I don't know if Frosty is the captain, actually. But do bear with us as we do wait. And while we wait, a quick shout out to our sponsors contributing in to the prize pool. X Labs coming in with $10,000 in total to VRML for our prize pool that we split between both regions to make it $2,000 in prizing for first place. Crimson Claw have just secured that $2,000 in hardware, so congratulations to them. Access Denied coming away with $800 in cash for second place, all possible because of our fantastic sponsorships, all possible because of Axe Labs giving us this amazing spectator client, supporting us, providing us with the prize pool, and enabling us for Season 1. We really do appreciate them as a sponsor, and I can't shout them out enough with how great Season 1 has been, and I can't look forward enough to the NA World Finals at VRML, Grand Finals at VRML Con, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to chat with the likes of this squad, with the likes of the champions of Crimson Claw. Congratulations to you all. Shout out to you coming out with what is now the first victory, the first championship settled for Season 1 in VRML. Frosty, I'll start with you. How does it feel to now be that Season 1 champion?
Oh, it feels amazing. Very happy. It's been a little bit of shouting on Kitty now. We felt we were going down, but we got there. We were very happy.
Joint Man, I want to ask you, how are you feeling after Map 1? It was a really dominant opening performance. Did you feel like maybe that was going to be the scoreline with the rest of the maps?
Yeah. I felt so Sigma.
Okay.
Excellent.
No, more seriously, yeah.
I've done live interviews with you guys, but thank you for that. Mott, how are you feeling after a solid victory here against Crimson Claw?
I'm feeling very good. I'm very glad we managed to pull that off, and I was very worried at the end there when I crashed out the game.
Yeah, definitely not what you want. I also had that crash, so 8-3. Yeah. Right, I had jumped in right in time for what was an incredibly close defuse to make it 8-4, but still did Access Denied put up as much of a fight as you were expecting at the end of the day? A really exciting map 2 and 3, ultimately.
Definitely for the second two maps. I'm not sure what was going on in the first map. I wasn't playing, but I was watching. And yeah, I think we just overrun them on the first map. And then second map and third map, it was a really good fight.
Absolutely. Frosty, again, congratulations to you and your team for coming out as first place. Any sort of final thoughts on the season as a lead mod, all of that? Anything to say out to the community here after what was a fantastic, undefeated performance from Crimson Claw?
No, I think season's been great. Seems like everything's been running smoothly. We're super happy with how everything's gone this season, and it's going to be really cool to see the NA teams now in VRML Con next month.
Yeah, absolutely. There is still a little bit of VAIL left for those that want to watch it, those NA finals coming up, but we don't need to talk about those now. I just want to congratulate you one more time here on coming out on top. I do think I also have Tactical Pan in here. Tactical, I haven't come to you, but any thoughts, any final words for you on the season, on being the EU #1 team, being the EU champion for Season 1?
I mean, honestly, I'm just relieved. Like, it was a bit of a rocky start. We had a full roster reform and everything. But the thing is, I think the more important thing is to look at the other teams that we were playing against. We started off with being a team with a lot of experience. They came in with none, but I'm sure you were obviously casting ADV Meeks yesterday. Like, these teams have improved so much, and there have been some massive upsets. It's honestly been really fun to see these other teams grow up with alongside us, and to see them become an actual, like a dominant force, especially Meeks until they're, until yesterday's game. Like that was intense. I was watching that.
I mean, even that series, a fun one to tune into, but you go ahead.
We had to actually, respect Access Denied, and we had to learn how they played. We had to, think about how to counter some of their players. We had, that's the sort of thing I like about competitive games like these. You have to sit down, you have to strategize, you got to put it into practice. That's the most difficult part, but it's almost it's also the most fun part of it. I'm just happy. So
yeah, of course, how couldn't you be? You locked in $2,000, and again, congratulations to you all for coming out as the EU first place team. That's all I have for us here on the desk. That's all I have for the EU regular season. Thank you guys all for joining me here on this cast. Thank you all for joining me over the course of the entirety of Season 1. And do not forget to stop in again later on July 20th and 21st to watch VRML Con. It will be streamed live, and on top of, if you're able to, you can watch it at VRML Con. You can go buy tickets right now by going to vrmlcon.com or vrml.com/vrmlcon. Both of those will direct you to the landing page where you can buy tickets. You can get in on the hotel deal, which is exclusive to VRML Con attendees until the 25th of this month. And you could be there meeting Acer and Rect, who will be battling it out for NA Grand Finals live on stage for VAIL. It's going to be an incredible NA Finals. I cannot wait to see that shake out live on stage in another best-of-5 series. But that's a few months away, and we're done with the EU regular season. Thank you all for tuning in. My name has been Nightfire with 2 E's. One more shout out to Axe Labs, ProTube VR, HyperX, all for coming in and supporting the VRML, sponsoring the VRML in its first season with VAIL, and hopefully it's the first of many to come. Again, thank you all to the community for playing. We'll see you in Season 2. We'll see you at VRML Con. But until then, stay classy. VAIL VRML is brought to you by XLab, Exclaim, Helga, the esports manager, HyperX, ProTube VR, VR Cover. Thanks for watching.